Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dani and today it's finally time for the next M&M'S TBR, which are going to pick the books that I'm going to read in September. I know a lot of you joined because of my last M&M'S TBR, and if you are not subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe because I'm going to be doing this every month now. In September, I'm going to try to loosely participate in 3 readathons: the Becca's Bookoplathon, which is the whole month, graded by Becca and the books, the Mammamiathon, which is a specific 2 weeks, I think, and it's all based on Mamma Mia songs and characters. And also in the Adventures in Wonderland Readathon, which is a middle grade readathon hosted by some amazing people. All of these are hosted by amazing people, and I'm going to leave all the links and information about these in the description. I'm also going to link in the description some amazing booktubers that inspired me to do this. Like I said last month, they're always going to be there in the description. This month I added 2 more. I added Emily from M Likes Books and also Maddie from Book Browsing Blog. They also have amazing TBR games, so definitely do check them out. Before we jump to the M&Ms, and if you want to skip just to that, I'm gonna leave a timestamp in the screen so you can do that. Let's quickly see how I did last month. These are the books that I picked in the M&Ms for this month, and I read 2 of them. I read The Clocks by Agatha Christie and Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angelis, and I've started The Wall of Ascension. I'm like this much in it, and I'm loving it, but I have not even touched the other 2 books. That's not good. I asked on Twitter, and if you're not following me there, there's a chance the link is in the description. So I asked on Twitter what I should do as a punishment if I don't complete all the 5 books that I picked. And I also said that I will not add an extra book because that's just gonna turn into chaos. And one of the suggestions that I really liked was to add a book that I'm not very excited to read in the next month, or a book that I really just don't want to read in the next month. So that's what I'm going to do. Because I have not finished all the 5 books, I have to add at least 1 book in the picks that I'm not excited to read. I'm gonna take this thing out here because I just put it there to take the thumbnail photo, but this was not supposed to be there. We have to fill that this month. And talking about prompts, I added a lot of prompts from your suggestions from last month. There were still some that I already had extra that didn't come up in the board, but some of the suggestions that you gave in that video that I didn't have yet, I added here in the pile, and I also added your name in the bottom, so if it comes up, I'm going to say who suggested it to me. And I also got this Outcrate pouch that's really cute, and it kind of fits the prompts perfectly. I did not add all of the prompts that you suggested because I don't have enough books for some of them. So when I do, I will add them because I don't want to have to keep buying a lot of books every month, although that's very exciting, but I mean, let's not spend all the money when I have this whole shelf of unread books. So how are we going to fit the M&Ms in the readathons? I printed all the prompts for the 3 readathons, and I'm just going to pick 5 prompts from the M&Ms and trying to fit them here. My priority is the M&Ms, so if I can't complete the prompts in the readathons, I'm not going to be too worried about it. For Becca's Bookoplathon, we have to roll the dice and pick a prompt from her board ourselves. So I did that right before filming this, and I'm going to insert a clip right here. So let's find out what my prompts for the Bookoplathon are going to be. I'm so excited. Let's shuffle the community shelf cards. So for this ones, I used a lot of the prompts that are already on my M&Ms board because, of course, why not? I want to make this not too hard for myself. Okay, and oh, R2 fell here. And then for the chance cards, I used a lot of the books that I want to read next month. Also mixed the few that I don't want to read necessarily right now. I decided to do 4 rows for Bookoplathon because I'm doing 5 picks for the M&Ms, and I think it's safer to be able to fit books in both. And I'm probably gonna roll a double, let's be honest. So let's start. 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Chance card already. Okay. Let's see what we have here. Exit strategy. Ooh. This is by Martha Wells. It's the 4th book in the Murderbot series. And okay, this is going to be on my TBR if hopefully I can fit on the M&Ms as well. Row number 2. 3. 1, 2, 3. Well, doesn't this work beautifully? I got the TBR game. I don't know if I should use another TBR game or if I can use my own TBR game. I'm going to go with my own TBR game because I'm already using a second TBR game here. So I'm not going to use a third to pick. So this is perfect. I'm going to take a note of that. Okay, so this is definitely one that I will be able to complete in the Bookoplathon for sure. Row number 3. Oh my god, R2 doesn't want to move. I got a 6. Middle grade. This is going so well for me. I'm gonna take a note of that as well. And in the M&Ms, I'm gonna try to fit a middle grade. And it's perfect because I'm also participating in a middle grade readathon. So thank you, Becca's Bookoplathon. You're being very helpful. And that's the last roll already, roll number 4. Roll again. 8. I got a sequel. I don't know if you can see that very well, but I got a sequel. I'm also gonna take a note of that and try to fit a sequel, which exit strategy would work already. And I'm not, oh, this is upside down for you. And I'm not worried about doubling up on these prompts because it's a lot of prompts, a lot of readathons, not a lot of books. So I'm definitely doubling up with exit strategy for sequel. And just for fun, because I'm already doubling up on one of the prompts that came up here and in the TBR game, let's do another roll because I wanted to get further in the board and we'll just see what happens. Roll dice. 5. I got nature on the cover. So this, as Becca said, can be either actual nature, animals and plants on the cover, or just colors of nature, so greens and browns. And we'll see how that goes with the M&M. Let's go back to the M&Ms and see how many of these prompts I can fit on the M&Ms. So like I said, I printed also the Bookoplathon prompts that came out in that video. And I think we can finally start. This worked better than last month. Also, just a comment, some people asked me why I wasn't eating the M&Ms in the last video. That was because I kind of wanted to track how many of each color came up. And so I put them here just so I could take a photo and track them later. But I ate them immediately after the video. So before we pick the first M&M, let's replace that prompt. I'm gonna pick something in the middle. Continue series. And this one was suggested by Samantha McNulty. So thank you, Samantha. Your prompt is going in the board. Now it's time for the M&Ms. The first one is blue. Now I'm just gonna eat them. So it's going to be one of these books. And the second M&M, blue again. So the first prompt with blue and blue is new author. So this prompt means that I have to pick a book from an author that I haven't read before. And let's get out of the way the fact that I have to read a book that I don't want to read right now. And let's pick already with this one. And let's pick a short book. The book that I'm going to fit in this prompt, and it's also going to be my punishment for not reading all the books in August, is going to be The Tinderbox by Minette Walters. I have never even heard of this author before, but as I mentioned in the book haul when I hauled this book was picked for me by a secondhand bookstore because they were doing a mystery box where you paid like for the amount of books they wanted and they would just randomly pick books for you without you knowing what books it was. And that's one of the books that they picked for me. It's very, very short. I have no idea what this is about. I think it's a thriller, but I don't even know. But we'll read it and we'll see. I definitely was not planning on reading this month, and it's not something that I'm very excited about. But maybe I'll be surprised. start putting the books here so you can see. Let's move the arrows back. And let's replace the prompt. Black author. So if I pick this one, I have to pick a book by a black author. And the first M&M for the second prompt is orange. The second M&M for the second prompt is blue. Okay, so you see why I want to track how many M&Ms of each color there are? We already got 3 blues out of the 4 M&Ms that I picked. But this is actually a great prompt. So the prompt that I got was high rating. What that means is that I'm going to go on Goodreads, order my unread books by rating, and pick one of the highest ratings. Like I mentioned before, I'm not going to pick the highest rating because it probably is going to be a sequel from a book that I might not have read already. But we'll see. Okay, so I have here my own TBR, which is currently ordered by Date Read, which makes 0 sense because I haven't read any of these. And let's order by average rating. Like I suspected, the highest rated book in my unread shelf is Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson, which is a sequel for The Way of Kings, which is actually the second book that is the highest rated. But let's see what else we have here to pick from. Let's try to look at like the 10 highest. So we have Greek Myths by M&ms, Oathbringer, which is the third book in the Stormlight Archive, Harry Potter, The Name of the Wind, Dear Joelle, which I technically already read last year, but I didn't read the physical copy that I have, Skyward, Sherlock Holmes, and The Hero of Ages. That's interesting. What number is this one? I don't think it's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, Hero of Ages is 11, so I'm not going to do that. The one that I'm going to pick, and I know I think it's going to be an amazing book, but also it probably has one of the highest ratings because it doesn't have a lot of ratings. Yeah, it has 77 ratings, which it's Greek Myths by M&ms. It has a rating of 4.61, and this actually is currently in my 5-star prediction, so I'm very excited. And it's this one. This is one of the prettiest books I have on my bookshelf. It's a non-fiction about Greek mythology, and it talks about a lot of gods and heroes that we know from the Greek mythology. The author is a booktuber. I'm gonna link her channel in the description, and she is amazing. I love her channel, so you should definitely check her out. This is going to be hard to fit here, but we'll make it work. Let's move the arrows back, and let's replace the prompt. I have a few book club books that I have to read in September, but I wasn't able to fit them in this prompt yet, so we'll see. Oh, great. This was a prompt that came up last month. Pick number 3. First M&M is blue. See, this is weird. Second M&M for the prompt number 3. Yellow. Do you see it? Can you read it? Oh my god, the paper ripped. I got the buy a book prompt. Of course, I love this prompt, and now I have to buy a book because of it. I said that I wasn't going to buy new books as much as possible for the M&Ms, but now I have to. The worst part is that the books that I have, not worse, I'm gonna get a new book, but I already bought the books that I have to fit on my TBR for September, so they don't count. This has to be a new book. What am I gonna buy? I'm so excited. I'm going to check my Indigo wish list first. So I have some books here on my Indigo wish list that I already bought, already read. I already pre-ordered One by One and Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and I already read Sleeping Giants. So we have the next Full Metal. We have Astrophysics, that is one that I'm already bought. We have Catherine House, which I'm very curious about. Oh my god. Do I have to pick it right now? I think I have to pick it right now, right? Let's see my Amazon wish list. If you want to see what I have on my Amazon wish list, it's in the description as well. And you can get some more ideas of the type of books that I really want to read. Oh, should I pick like a very big book? I'm completely forgetting the Readathons, but I'm going to fit them later. I have to sit down for a bit to think about this.
One eternity later.
I'm back. It took me like a long time, but I finally picked a book that I'm very excited for, that I was probably not going to buy anytime soon, but yeah, it's been getting so many great reviews and it sounds just the perfect fantasy, epic fantasy series. And it's going to be The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. The next one in the series is coming out in November, I think. So it's the perfect time to read it. And that's going to be the book that I picked for this prompt. I'm so excited. It's like getting a gift for myself that I have to pay for, but it's fine. Let's move back the arrows. And let's replace the prompt. Mood read. So if this comes up, I get to pick whatever book I'm in the mood for. I don't think you can see in the camera, but all of the other prompts are kind of not the same white as this new ones are. And it's kind of funny that the blue has all the new prompts. So we have 3 books, because one is going to be bought. And let's pick the 4th prompt. Blue again. I swear, there are a lot of blues now that I turned it, but there are a lot of colors in here. I don't know why blue keeps coming up so much. And the second M&M for the 4th prompt is you gotta be kidding me. I'm excited, but okay, so the prompt that came up was Black Author. The book that I'm going to pick by a Black author is actually one that I bought already, that's coming and should arrive on Monday. And that is Astrophysics for People in a Hurry by Neil deGrasse Tyson, which is a nonfiction about astrophysics, space, cosmos, stuff like that. That was recommended to me by Sasha from The Wild Sasha. I'm gonna link her channel in the description. She mentioned it on the live show that she invited me to join, and I've been excited to read this ever since. So I already bought it, it's on its way, and that's going to be the one to fulfill this prompt. So far it's looking good because I only have 2 short books here, but I know that Rage of Dragons is very long. I forgot to mention, if you haven't heard about The Rage of Dragons, it's an epic adult fantasy that I don't know much about the story. I read only a little bit of the synopsis, but apparently 1 in every 2,000 women, I think, has the power to call on dragons, and 1 in every number of men also have a power, but for them it's to be very strong or something like that. And it's an epic fantasy that everyone is really raving about, and I'm excited for it. But yeah, Astrophysics, it's going to be the 4th book. Let's go move the arrows back and replace the prompt. Friend pick. So if this comes up, I'm going to ask a friend to pick a book for me. And the first M&M for the last prompt is red. And the last M&M of this video is going to be Yellow. So this prompt is animal and cover. So I have to pick a book that has an animal on the cover. And I'm trying to think through the books that I have to read next month, which do not fit in this in this category. But the book that I'm going to pick for animal and cover is going to be Wonderland by Jessica Townsend. It has a dog right here and those guys, but they are like people with gold faces, but there is a dog, so it counts. And this is the second book in the Nevermore series. Third one, Hollowpox, is coming out in October. I already ordered the Owlcrate Junior Special Edition, and I'm so excited. I can't wait for it, but I need to reread Wondersmith. I reread Nevermore in July, I think? No, April, March. I reread Nevermore this year, and I need to reread Wondersmith. So I'm going to fit this here in animal and cover. And let's pick our TBR prompts, our readathon prompts. That fits for the Bookoplathon and a book with nature on the cover because it has animals, it has greens and browns also. It fits for a sequel, it fits for a middle grade. For the TBR game, as I mentioned in the clip, I'm using my own TBR to pick books, so I already fulfilled the TBR prompt by default. And the other book that came up in Bookoplathon was Exit Strategy. So let's put this here. We'll see if I can get to it. It's short, maybe, and that fulfills all the prompts for Bookoplathon, of course, doubling up. I don't know if that's allowed in the readathon, but I know it's just for fun, and the important thing is to read a lot of books. So it fits. For the Adventures Through Wonderland readathon, I have to read a book set in another world, so definitely Wondersmith counts. It also counts for an aesthetically pleasing book because it's just so whimsical, so magical, and it's so gorgeous. Not only the cover, but it's just the whole setting. I have to also read a book eating a cozy reading snack, so that's not going to be included here. A book that I'm going to love. Like I said, this is a 5-star prediction, so I'm predicting that I'm going to love this one. And also a strange and mysterious book. Definitely the Tinderbox fit there. That it's not a middle grade that I know of, but it's definitely strange and mysterious. So for the Mammamiathon, one of the options that they said we could do is to fulfill one prompt in each of the character options blocks. So for Donna, I'm going to fulfill a book that I did not buy at full price, which was the Tinderbox, because like I said, it was a special second-handed bookstore that was doing the mystery box. For Sophie, I'm going to read a book that I think I'm going to love, which is Greek Myths. For the Dynamos, I'm going to read a popular or hyped book, which is The Rage of Dragons. And for the Dads, I'm going to read an anticipated read, which could be Greek Myths or The Rage of Dragons. So this is what my TBR is looking like for September, but I also have to include here The Rage of Dragons and some of my book club books. For my book club with some of her friends, we're reading Daisy Jones and the Six. It's going to be a reread for me. And for my work book club, we're going to be reading, I think, the Amazon Forward collection, which is a collection of short stories, or very some are like 30 pages long, but it's 6 stories by some very famous authors that I'm super curious about, N.K. Jemisin, Andy Weir, Blake Crouch, and some other very cool authors. And there's also the Owlcrate book. So it's a lot. And if I don't read all of these, at least not this one, because this is for Bookoplathon, this was not the M&Ms, this and The Rage of Dragons, and what else? Astrophysics, Rage of Dragons, and this 3. If I do not read all of this 5, I have to pick a book that I don't want to read for the following month. Let's move the arrows back, and we're going to replace that one in the next video. So let me know in the comments if you have even more ideas of prompts that I could add here. What do you think of my picks? And if you're participating in any of these readathons, do subscribe if you want to hear my thoughts in all of these books and see my next M&M'S TBR. Like I said, I'm going to be doing this every month. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye!